So I have spastic cerebral palsy. So basically, like almost all the muscles, especially in my lower body, in a basically a permanent state of contraction. I almost went into fight mode,
Yeah, right.
in the sense that as soon as I found out, I was like, I started researching, okay, what can I do? I mean, obviously there's no cure for, but I mean, is there treatments? Is there surgeries? Is there therapy? What is there I can do more than I mean, I was already at that point. By the time I was diagnosed, I was already doing infinitely more, training in China, training and going to India, for yoga therapy and stuff, So at that point, I was already pushing myself beyond this. I mean, I have accepted, like, by now, I've accepted this is the condition. I'm not going to be running marathons. I'm not going to be, uh, um, uh, uh, I don't know,
Yeah.
racing or being
Cycling the
no,
Tour
I'm
de
not going
France.
to be playing for Liverpool.
Mm.
Oh, why can't I? Yeah, I should be able to do this. Why can't I do it? Even though we all reach a limit at some point, there's only so much we can do. I got some of it from my dad, but I think overall, I think it's desire, the desire to want to be able to do certain things that pushes you, that gives you, that your sense of desire is stronger than the despair you feel. So yeah, when I was 13, I was sitting in my aunt's house and started crying, and it's because I thought that my mom died because of me.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Zen and Now. Today, we sit down with Kamal Jasmath, a true warrior with an unstoppable spirit. Born with cerebral palsy, misdiagnosed as a kid, Kamal's journey has been nothing but extraordinary. From facing challenges head on to undergoing life changing surgery, his story is one of resilience, hope, and the power of never giving up. So let's get into his story. Welcome.
Thanks.
How you been? It's been a while since we've
Seen each
connected.
other, yeah,
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 it's
yeah. I think
come.
a long time, maybe 20
Yeah.
years.
I can see we've all been aging. We've all been
Yeah,
aging
yeah, yeah, definitely.
for sure. So, come on, can you take us back to your early childhood and what do you remember about the first few years when when things didn't quite add up?
Well, I mean, growing up, especially as a kid, they basically I was told that it's I have a physical condition. I mean, obviously they didn't tell me I have cerebral palsy.
Right.
Not sure who knew, if anyone knew. But yeah, so it says a physical condition, and then with physio, you can come right to whatever it is. Then yeah, I mean, I didn't let it stop me because I mean, growing up, I played football, I played cricket, I
Yeah.
played tennis. Obviously, I didn't play well, but yeah, but I
No,
mean,
but
I
I mean
tried
you
to
were you
play.
were you were this active.
Yeah, I was active. I mean, I tried to do. I mean, I wanted to be like everyone else because I mean, every kid wants to. Nobody wants to feel different or like an outcast.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, growing up, I didn't really think too much of what it could be, or I just thought, okay, now if I keep doing all those things, maybe it'll be okay.
Right. Right. And also being like an avid Liverpool supporter, I'm sure you probably like had that urge also as a young kid to
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like,
yeah, of course. Yeah, well, growing up
mimic your
watching
your
Liverpool, you want
heroes.
to, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You think, oh no, one day I'll be able to play for Liverpool.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. I
Yeah,
mean, we Liverpool and United rivals, so
big time. Yeah, I
I
can
can
see the
understand.
jacket.
No,
Yeah,
I mean, like I know growing up it couldn't have been easy for you emotionally as well. Um, you know, having that little bit of a challenge to actually keep up, so to speak.
yeah. So yeah, trying to keep up with others is difficult. I mean, I don't think too much about it emotionally. I mean,
Mhm.
maybe deep within myself, it was there, but on the surface, no, I didn't show any because I don't know. Maybe you're showing emotions is a weakness, or maybe we think it's a weakness
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah,
Yeah, but and all I did is just try to do more and more to try to fit in, try to keep up with others, trying to, do the same things as others could, try
Mhm.
to compete in able-bodied. I mean, in primary school, raised with able-bodied kids.
Yeah.
It's not something that I didn't try to look at myself as different.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah,
And was there any time when you felt um, a little bit disheartened that you couldn't keep up
yeah, all the
in
time.
a way that, like, I
Yeah,
mean, you know what I'm saying? It's not like within our societies as well. Not many people are knowledgeable or aware of the challenges,
yeah. No, I mean
people with
people
cerebral
aren't.
palsy or anybody
Yeah. No, I
with a
mean
disability
it's
face.
yeah, yeah. Even I mean even doctors don't understand sometimes.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean I disheartened a lot. I mean all the time. If I couldn't, I'd get angry. I'd get angry with myself. Oh, why can't you do this? You're useless.
Yeah,
Why can't you keep up? Why can't you do this? It's
yeah,
not. I mean, it's not something I express to anyone else. Well,
right.
not then anyway.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's like we always become, I think maybe from that age, overcritical of yourself if you can't do something, which might not have been the healthiest thing in the world, but it is what it was anyway.
yeah. I think it's also not easy to accept that about yourself at times as well. Like you said,
Yeah,
you felt anger, you felt frustration, you didn't
yeah,
understand. You probably asked yourself the question, "Why me?"
yeah. Oh, yeah, all the time. Yeah, why am I like this? Why is my legs not working like the way it
Hmm.
should be? You know,
Hmm.
that's a question literally, even till now. I still ask the same question. I think it's just bad luck.
Yeah, I wouldn't say bad luck. I think
Well, I mean, yeah,
you're
to
showing
an
you're showing
extent.
you're showing strength in where most people wouldn't. So I think
Yeah,
that's
no, for sure.
a
Yeah,
testament to you for showing up. It's not easy to show up when the chips are down, so to speak. It
yeah,
but it takes a little bit of strength, internal strength, mindset, mindfulness, just to say keep going. Because think
yeah.
about
No,
it, you
you
could
have
have
to.
given up a
Yeah.
long time ago, right?
Oh, yeah, easily. I mean, yeah, I mean, the thing is, I've thought about giving up all the time. Even now,
Hmm.
it's always in the back of your mind. Not I can't do this anymore. It's too
Yeah,
hard. It's too hard. Does it have to be so hard? I'm tired of things being difficult.
yeah. What gets you
Yeah,
what gets you motivated then to keep going?
just so hope.
Uh-huh.
It sounds very cliche, but honestly,
No,
hope
we
is the only thing that, yeah,
we all gotta
it
have
keeps
hope.
you. Yeah, it just, and it's small things. I was talking the other day about, I just like, I hope maybe I'd be able to dance or something, simple dancing, I hope that, oh no, I'll be able to maybe drive a car or ride a bicycle, or, just those small things. Whether it's possible or not doesn't matter, but the fact that it might be that's what pushes you to, keep
Yeah.
going.
Okay.
I'd like this more. I want to experience.
Yeah. You just want to experience like the normalities of what everyone has the
Yeah, yeah,
experience to
yeah.
do
Normally,
so.
and also just to able to do things you've wanted to do.
Right.
Growing up. You wanted to. I wanted to ride a bicycle. I
Hmm.
mean, I never could properly. So I want to ride a bicycle. It's just those things that it's almost like oh, I have a dream and I want to accomplish it, but it doesn't have to be this grandiose dream. It's just small little things that help you move forward.
Right. Right. And are you the only child, or do you have siblings as well?
No, I'm the only child. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
So I guess also it was a challenge for you not to have that kind of like play structure around you.
Well, I mean, I grew up, I mean, with our communities,
Yeah.
you grow
Yeah.
up with cousins and friends who are
100%.
pretty much like your siblings. You
Right.
know, you spend most of your time with them anyway. You spend more time in their homes than your own home sometimes.
Right.
And
Yeah, I
growing up, I
remember.
did. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't think I ever left. I never felt wanting of a sibling or, like having that immediate sibling to play with or anything because, I mean, within our radius, our family were literally right next door to us. You know,
Okay. Okay.
you could just, yeah, you'd walk
Yeah,
out
you
your
could just
house and your neighbor is your family.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, that's
yeah,
the that's the beauty of the communities we grew up
the
in.
community we grew up in, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. How did your family navigate the uncertainties, and was there any moments where they felt frustrated or had sense of, also had an inkling state of hope
Yeah.
for you?
I don't know because like I mean obviously my mom passed away when I was 5. So I mean I never really got to know her.
Mhm.
And then it was just me and my dad. And obviously I mean you know about my dad's history as an anti-apartheid activist, you know.
Right, right.
So yeah, it was just him. And my dad was, from that, that old school. They don't express emotions, they
Yeah,
they
yeah, no.
yeah, they bottle up a lot of things. If something is wrong or if something's hurting them or if they, even spreading or sharing their emotions is not something they do.
Mhm, mhm.
So yeah, I never really. And also, he never mentioned. I mean, he never said anything about cerebral palsy. So they think it's a physical condition. So all they trying to do is to push you, like, oh no, try to walk properly, or do this or do that, because they want to push you to be more than what you are.
Right.
Right or wrong, I don't know. It's just the way they were.
Yeah, and when you couldn't actually
Yeah,
walk like a
yeah.
normal
I
person, was
mean,
there was
now,
there a
yeah.
time when was there a time when your dad or your family members felt like you're not trying hard enough?
No, I don't. Well, I mean, maybe yeah, to an extent when I was
Hmm.
younger, maybe they thought, oh no, you're not doing enough, or you're not pushing enough. Maybe, but I don't think it was like a major thing.
Hmm.
I think it's more to the point where they want you to they feel like you should be doing better,
Right,
you know,
right, right.
and I mean, it's only now that I know that obviously I couldn't do more than I
Yeah,
was. Yeah,
yeah,
but at that time, you don't know because you don't know what the diagnosis is. So all you can think is, oh no, maybe I have to push more. I have to push more.
yeah,
Uh, whether you can or not doesn't really matter, or didn't matter
yeah.
anyway.
I get what you're saying. Also, from an able-bodied person, you have those moments where you get pushed to a limit, and you still,
Yeah,
you still have a limitation, but you get
yeah,
pushed to a level where you're just not ready for yet,
yeah,
and that's where I guess frustration and anger, the feelings of anger come in. Like, why can't I do this right now?
yeah,
I should
yeah.
be able to do this.
We tend to be very self-deprecating. It's like,
Mm.
oh, why can't I? I should be able to do this. Why can't I do it? Even though we all reach a limit at some point. There's
Mhm.
only so much we can do.
Yeah, but I mean, if I watched your journey, I mean, from those days up until now,
Yeah,
and you have something within you that I think most people would love to have, which is grit and the hunger to actually get better. Because, like you said,
yeah.
it's easy to give up. It's easy just to
No,
throw the
yeah, it
mantle
is. Yeah,
away and say, just sit there and like you said, sit in the despair of I'm
yeah,
never going to be able to do this. But you are
yeah,
showing people, you are showing the strength that is within all of us in a human spirit perspective to keep going.
yeah.
It's not easy being in this form.
No, no,
Let's
no,
be
it's
let's
not.
be
It's
honest.
it's it's hard work. Yeah, it's a lot of
Yeah,
hard work.
yeah.
I think also, I mean, maybe I got some of it from my dad, but I think overall, I think it's desire, you know, the desire to want to be able to do certain things that pushes you, that gives you, that your sense of desire is stronger than the despair you feel.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think for some people, maybe the sense of despair is a lot stronger,
yeah.
and that's why it's very easy to give up. But I guess with mine, it's maybe the opposite.
Right. I mean, I had a discussion with Atish Lala as well, who's now
Yeah,
also
yeah,
disabled, but he was born able. So
yeah, yeah,
his journey was a bit different to yours, but now he also has a similar mindset of uh, it's all about mindset. It's all about positivity.
yeah,
It doesn't matter
100%.
whether you are unable to function as an able person, but you still have your mind, which is
Yeah,
still
and you
very much
can,
active.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and you can function in this capacity, but you can
Hmm.
do certain things that maybe even others that able-bodied people can't do.
Exactly, exactly, and
Yeah,
that's what is like the true testament of when we say you are lazy. Look at other people.
yeah,
Look at people who are not lacking, but they are limited in what
limited. Yeah,
you
yeah,
can do, but they are actually going out there and making or doing something for themselves.
yeah,
And yeah, it's a mindset as well, but also I guess it depends on your circumstance
Yeah,
and where
a
you are in
circumstance.
life.
Yeah, and I think also people with limited abilities or whatever feel they need to do more.
Mhm.
Maybe it's a societal thing, but we feel like, oh no, we have to try harder
Right.
to be able to do certain things, you know?
Yeah, I mean, let's be
Whereas, yeah,
honest.
yeah,
We have to also be truthful to ourselves in where we grew up and the culture that we grew up in, the country that we grew up in, the history of
yeah,
the country where we were in the spectrum of things. We had to actually literally
right.
bend our backs and
Yeah,
fight to
yeah, we
actually
have to
get
fight for
even just
everything. Yeah,
a 1% chance of having what the other side had
yeah,
or
and
getting
yeah,
there.
that applies to so many, you know, and not just in different circumstances, you know, not just like disabled and able-bodied people, but
Oh, for
like, you know,
sure.
in terms of discrimination and stuff as well, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When
so
when you were when you were diagnosed with cerebral palsy, what did that how did that feel? What did that moment feel for you? Do you
uh
remember?
I told the doctor she was wrong. Yeah, it didn't because firstly, I mean, I didn't know much about cerebral palsy, but I know that it's incurable. And I told the doctor, no, I mean, you are on something. There's no way. Why wouldn't the doctors, my whole life, why wouldn't they have picked it up? You know, why wouldn't anyone have told me that I have cerebral palsy or even suggested it? Was no suggestion my whole life. And then she was adamant, and she examined me and stuff, like my body and stuff. And then she sent me to an orthopedic surgeon, and then I seen a neurologist, and they all confirmed the same thing. And then I was like, oh, okay, yeah, so it is this year. And then I almost went into fight mode,
Yeah,
you know,
right.
in the sense that as soon as I found it, I was like, I started researching, okay, what can I do? You
Mhm.
know, what, I mean, obviously there's no cure for, but I mean, is there treatments? Is there surgeries? Is there therapy? What is there I can do more than I mean, I was already at that point. By the time I was diagnosed, I was already doing infinitely more, you know, training in China, training and going to India, you know, for yoga therapy and stuff, you know. So at that point, I was already pushing myself beyond all extremes.
All right.
And now I found out this year, and now I need to find out, okay, all this pushing that I was doing, is there more that I can do so that this thing doesn't affect me as much as it possibly will?
Yeah. And emotionally, were you like, was there a time when
Yeah, I
you
think,
literally just,
yeah,
was there a time when you sat with it? Or was it
I don't.
continuous
So that's
fight
yeah. I
mode?
mean, there was moments where it's like, okay, this is the condition, but even in then, it's always about trying to find out what can I do.
Mhm.
And I don't know if maybe yeah, I don't know if I ever decide. I mean, I have accepted like, by now. I've accepted this is the condition. I'm not going to be running marathons. I'm not going to be uh, um, I don't know,
Yeah.
racing or being a.
Cycling the
No,
Tour de
I'm not
France.
going to be playing for Liverpool. So, but um, I think it's again, you know, always trying to see what I can do more to make sure that I'm better. And I don't know if that's a healthy thing or not, because sometimes you have to accept that this is where you are and you can't do more than this. But in my
I think
life,
I
I've
think
learned there's more.
yeah, you can.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
I think you can do that. You can positively hype up yourself.
yeah,
You can.
yeah, no, for
There's
sure.
nobody
Yeah,
that says no, you know. And this is
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
think we all have that capacity where we say this is it. I think we all have that inkling desire to do better.
yeah.
It's just how we go about doing it.
Yeah,
And
and for some it's more difficult than others, you know.
exactly, yeah. But I think
Yeah,
you have a point there where you said like sometimes you accept. Acceptance is
yeah,
one part,
yeah,
and what you do with that acceptance is the more important part.
yeah. No, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I could have just let the condition be, and it wouldn't have been a bad thing, you know,
Yeah,
because most people live with the condition and they accept this is the condition, you know. And I mean, I would have regressed and all those things, but I mean, that's what most people do.
yeah,
I just felt that I had to do more. I had to find something to. to try and improve my physical state. And that
Mhm.
goes back to again what I said earlier, desire. You know, the desire to be able to want to do certain things. If I didn't have the desire, I think I would have probably given up.
Yeah, I think yeah, I think you're correct there. It all
Yeah.
comes down to wanting it.
Yes, exactly. You know,
Yeah,
and
because
how
once
much you
you
want
once
it.
you
Yeah.
stop that want, you give up.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely.
Yeah. And what does like a day-to-day living with cerebral palsy look like for you? What is your day-to-day?
Uh, it's difficult. So, I
Mhm.
mean, what's it with cerebral? So I mean, there's different kinds of cerebral palsy, and it
Okay.
affects different people differently. So I have spastic cerebral palsy. So basically, like almost all the muscles, especially in my lower body, are in a basically a permanent state of contraction. Yeah. So
This must
basically,
be
it's
very
like trying
painful.
to, yeah. So yeah, that's not painful. It's just it makes your mobility. It's
Okay,
like you
okay.
flex your arm, and then while the arm is flexed, you need to move it in the opposite direction.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
So your arm is flexed, and then
Right,
you have to move it in the opposite direction, which is almost impossible.
right.
So that's basically how, especially my legs are. So that's what makes the mobility so difficult.
Mhm.
So yes, I mean that's well part of it anyway, but also it makes your body very heavy. It's almost like dead weight.
Right.
Yeah. So
So
they
it's
say
like just
with
like lifting you're doing a leg work every day,
every
leg
day. Yeah. So
exercise every
I'm
day.
using. So they say people with cerebral palsy use at least 5 times more energy for every task than an average able-bodied person.
Person.
So basically,
Right.
even just sitting up, like now, sitting up, I'm
Mhm.
using more energy than you are from sitting up.
No, then so kudos for you for being here as well. So
Yeah,
yeah, I can imagine. Like I've got a little bit of a back injury now, and I know how
yeah,
debilitating it is because it's like you have the connection between your upper body and lower body,
yeah,
and mobility is limited. I mean, I feel frustrated now. I can imagine. I can only imagine what you're feeling
yeah.
every
For
single
me, it's
day.
like, yeah, yeah. So like, I mean, your legs can't bend. You can't lift your legs. You trip. I mean, before especially, I could trip over a carpet or even just like a centimeter.
Mhm,
I can trip over and fall.
mhm.
You know,
Because
because the leg doesn't.
there's no
Yeah, the leg
elevation on
can't
the
lift.
foot.
Yeah, the leg doesn't lift because it's so tight and so heavy that you don't have. There's no strength in the legs to be able to lift.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, I can only imagine what that feels like. But like you
Yeah,
said,
so I mean, it's fully spastic.
you've have you learned like to navigational tools to
Yeah, yeah. I
just
mean,
do
over
day
the
certain
years,
just basic tasks.
yeah, you learn to adapt to certain ways, but obviously, um, because of the condition, you adapt maybe I wouldn't say in a wrong way, but in a way that maybe can harm your body further along in the long run, but it just makes things easier in that moment.
Mhm.
For example, trying to lift your leg, but because the leg doesn't lift, you use your whole body
Right,
to
right. So
try
you're
and lift your
exerting more
leg.
energy.
More energy, use your entire your upper body and everything just to try your hips and everything to try to lift your leg
So you must be
up.
having a lifetime stock of energy then.
Well, I mean, all the energy is all gone. It's slowly draining out.
No. Um, I want to go back to the time when you said you lost your mom. How did that feel at that moment, knowing that you've lost a parent, and also then you also having a disability? How did that feel?
Yeah. I don't know because I mean, at 4 years old, 4 or 5 years old, you don't understand anything.
Right.
You don't know. Oh, my mom is gone, or it doesn't register in your brain. You know, and I'm also thankful that I've had aunts and uncles that looked after me growing up. They've a lot of them, especially when I was young, because my dad, growing up, he's an anti-apartheid activist. He's busy. He's single parent, working as well. He didn't have anyone to look after me as a child. So my aunts and uncles, they definitely helped in that regard. So in a way, I see a lot of them as
Yes.
parents.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So
Was
yeah, I
there
don't.
age? Was there a certain point in like your childhood when you realized, okay,
Yeah,
uh,
I remember
I
I
want.
was actually 13. I was 13.
Mhm.
Um, actually, I only told. I think I've only told one person. I've told my one aunt this year. Um, I've never shared this with anyone. It,
It's okay. Take your
um,
time.
so yeah, when I was 13, I was sitting at my in my aunt's house and started crying, and it's because I thought that my mom died because of me.
Oh.
Because when I was very young, I remember throwing like a rubber pipe at her, and and then after that, I noticed she started getting sick, and I thought that led to her getting sick, and
Mhm.
that's what led her to her me tapping the car accident. I took 1 plus 1 and I came up with
Yeah.
five.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I just yeah, it's
You
in
over
my brain.
rationalized
That's
it. Yeah.
yeah, 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 oh, yeah. And I was crying in my room, and I told my aunt, my mom's sister. I told her this year, and she was like, "No, your mom was ill long before this happened.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not your fault."
Right.
And yeah, in that, but I mean, for a few years, that's what I believed, you know. And
Mhm.
I never shared. Again, we go back to the not sharing. I never shared that with anyone. And
Nice.
even now, like I mean, I don't think I've shared it with anyone else.
No, thank you, but thank you for sharing. I know those kind of experiences are never easy to
Yeah,
speak about out loud, and thank you for sharing it with us and the audience and listeners. Like I don't really know how to
yeah. No, no,
say,
I don't think
you know,
I don't
it's
think there's anything you can say. It's just
I
yeah,
know
it
it's
is.
just, but it's like a true testament of like, you know, you carried that with you for so long on
Yeah,
your chest, and how did it feel like to actually express that out?
I felt relief,
Mm.
like insane amount of relief because it's just basically it's not your fault. You know, it wasn't your fault. It's you didn't cause this. It's yeah. I mean, I started crying even more after she said that, but
Yeah, it's like all the
different kind of
emotions that
yeah.
you held
You're
inside
bottled
of
up.
you,
Yeah,
exactly, were released, and
yeah,
that's why I come back to this point where growing up in our societies, in our households, and you know, like I said, it's not fault of our parents or anything. It's just we never saw emotions being expressed
yeah,
in a way that we felt it was okay to do so when we
yeah.
had something on our chest.
On the
We
chest,
felt,
yes.
I felt it was a bit weak. I felt I wasn't standing in my own power.
Yeah.
And it was, if I had cried or expressed how I felt, it was showing like, you know, emotional, um,
Weakness, like
yeah,
you're
lack of
like
emotional, yeah,
crybaby, you
intelligence,
know?
yeah, lack of
Yeah,
it. Yeah. So, and because we are told we are expected to mantle the manosphere of the certain way a man, you know, is supposed to
should be.
have certain
Yeah,
strength, masculine traits.
yeah,
Only like you said, now in our midlife, we're learning to express how we feel a lot
yeah,
more to those who have to hear it,
yeah.
and not only
No,
just
for,
because we feel we've held on for so long. No, doesn't
yeah,
that's not it. It's just that we
yeah,
feel
yeah.
like
It's not.
now.
Yeah, it's not sharing for the sake of sharing.
No,
It's not.
of course,
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course.
It's there's purpose behind it.
Of
Yeah,
course, of course. Because I mean, we're human beings. End of the day,
yeah,
we're not robots. We also
yeah.
have traumas we go through. Uh,
Absolutely.
we have happiness. We have sadness. We feel all of
Yeah,
those emotions,
yeah.
and it doesn't make you less of a person to cry. I
Oh no,
mean,
absolutely
gods
not.
cry.
Yeah,
Think about it. When it rains, we say
exactly.
the gods are crying,
Yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
and gods are what depicted as. We have different in Gujarati, any Hindu faith. How many
Yeah,
gods
in
do we have?
Hindu, yeah,
Like
gods are the
thousands.
superhuman, superheroes, superpowers.
Exactly,
The epitome of all.
exactly, and they cry too, right?
Yeah,
So what makes us less of an entity to express that?
to express our
That
emotions. No,
yeah,
absolutely, yeah. It doesn't make you any less.
no. But I'm glad that you actually were able to express that, and you know, before
Yeah,
You got to a state where
I don't think
you
I
really
was,
didn't
but
have to.
yeah.
Yeah.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this short break.
Yeah, I don't
You
think I
know, we
was
get
going
to a
to, but
point.
yeah.
You know, we
Yeah,
get to a
I
point where
guess.
we need to express those experiences, whether it be, like you said, maybe with a professional or somebody that you really feel comfortable with.
Yeah.
And like you said, at that time, you didn't understand what it was. You were one
Yeah.
plus one was five.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. No, thank you for sharing your that with
Thanks.
us.
Yeah.
I truly appreciate
Yeah.
it, and I hope you're feeling better now about that experience. And you know, I'm
Yeah. No,
sure
I mean,
your mom is
I mean,
probably
I,
your probably mom is smiling at you right now.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, I came to terms with that also a long time ago. After I spoke to my aunt, it, yeah, I mean, it changed a lot of things, mentally for me as well. It's like, okay,
Okay, good.
don't overthink things. Don't make up your own conclusions without knowing what's going on, you
Uh-huh.
know? Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes
Because
it's okay to ask.
yeah, exactly. You know,
Yeah,
because we sometimes we draw our own conclusions based on no evidence at all, and we come up with the wrong conclusions.
yeah. Then we go into fight or flight mode, get an
Exactly. Yeah.
anxiety, depression, all the
Depression, all
symptoms,
those
and
things.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what happened.
So
That's what
yeah.
happened to me. I didn't rationale my own experience, and I started, like you said, when you found out that you had experienced your uh, diagnosis. When I had experienced mine, I had also, same as you, went down the rabbit
Yeah.
hole of trying to research
Yeah.
anything under the sun, except for asking for asking the professionals what is going on with me.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
got to a
100%.
state
Yeah.
where I had to be hospitalized to
Oh
realize what I
wow.
was doing
Yeah.
wasn't healthy.
Wasn't good. It wasn't healthy. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. But I had to go through those experience. I had to
Yeah. No.
experience that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think it makes you it makes you stronger. I think.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because it and not only stronger, but I think it makes you resilient. Because
Right.
you're already looking at, okay, what can I do? Once you get the professional's opinion or advice, you already have that, oh, what can I do?
Mhm.
So after that, there you already, okay, again, I can look, okay, this is what I can do after getting
Mhm.
their information, their advice, their
Yeah,
diagnosis or whatever it is.
right. I mean, think about how many of our close-knit friends that we've lost now through suicide and
Yeah, oh yeah,
uh,
a lot.
within
Yeah,
our communities, and brothers
yeah,
and sisters that we've probably known for
yeah,
what, all our lives,
all our
and
lives. Yeah, and
yeah, they also had the opportunity just to
yeah, you never know. I mean,
ask.
people will be smiling, but behind that smile,
Mm.
it's you don't know what people are going through.
Yeah, there's a lot of pain and
Yeah,
despair, and I guess we also need to. That's why we need to break the narrative within our
100%.
communities to
Absolutely.
allow for
Yeah,
open and honest
yeah,
discussion
without judgment.
without judgment. Correct,
Yeah,
correct. And like you said, like we're realizing every single day, everyone throughout this journey on this podcast, you listen to people speak, and everyone from all forms of life are going through something or have went through something
100%.
in their
Yeah,
lives, and we
yeah,
judge on Facebook value
exactly.
basically,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
make judgments
100%. Yeah,
before we even
we don't.
understand what's going on.
Yeah, we don't know what the people are going through, and it's so easy to pass judgment because also it takes we don't look at ourselves. It's like, oh, this person is like this, like this, like this, and that's it. But yeah, I've learned also over the years not to pass judgment onto anyone because I know from personal experience there are people that are going through more than you ever know.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's amazing that also, you've gotten to a point now where you've also started to, just look within yourself and say, where can I be better?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think at certain point in life you have to.
Hmm. Yeah, otherwise we
You know,
just keep going down the same toxic and
it's
toxic
yeah, this
mindset.
the same routine over and over and over, and I don't think
Nothing changes.
you don't, yeah, and nothing changes, and you don't grow, you don't develop. You know, um, I think staying the same is one of the scariest things ever. I'd never want to remain the same as I was when I was younger. I think we have
Yeah,
to grow and learn, and through good things and bad things. I mean, you experience it all.
for sure. Speaking of change, you recently underwent a life-changing surgery. Can you talk us through what that surgery was and the what that experience was for you?
Yeah. So as once I found out I had cerebral palsy, I started going down this rabbit hole of what can I do to make it better. And then I found out about the surgery called selective dorsal rhizotomy. So basically, what the surgery does, it removes the spasticity in the lower body. So basically, all that muscle contractions is less. So yeah, so normally they don't do the surgery on adults because the risks are much higher.
Right.
There's maybe a handful of surgeons in the world that perform the surgery on adults. And also with adults, they don't. So what the surgery does is that they cut the nerve rootlets that connect the damaged part of the brain that causes cerebral palsy to the muscles in the lower body. So basically, they remove the piece of bone in your spine and they test which of those nerves are connecting the damaged part of the brain to the lower body, and
Right.
they sever those nerve rootlets. Obviously, not all of them. So with adults, with me, they only severed 50%.
Okay.
With children, they sever a little bit more because nerves heal faster when
When
you're
you're younger.
younger. Yeah. So once they remove that, then it reduces the spasticity in your body, makes your body lighter. I don't have to use 5 times more energy, maybe only 3 times more energy.
Okay.
So yeah, but yeah. So I found out about the surgery. I started doing my research about the surgery. I spoke to about 20 different adults that have had the surgery. Finding out what was their experience, are there any regrets? What's the downsides of the surgery and all things? And every single one of them didn't regret the surgery. Said they changed their lives completely.
Okay.
And I thought, just 20 people. I mean, most surveys don't have this
20
kind of
people.
yeah. So it's 20 people that have had the surgery and not a single negative thing to say about the surgery. Let me look into it more. And I mean, if it's changed their lives so much, even if it changes my life a little bit more, it's worth it because my condition was getting worse.
Mm.
I mean, prior to the surgery, when I went training in China and stuff, I managed to hike down a mountain 15 kilometers.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But by the time I came back to South Africa, I was unable to walk 200 meters without huffing and puffing.
Do you
That's
think
how bad the trajectory was. So I had
do you
to do
think do you
something.
think environment and climate played a part?
Yeah, because when I was training in China, I was training 6 hours a day.
Okay.
You can't do that when you come back. You need to work. You need to earn. Work is 8 hours a day.
Right.
You know, yeah. So you can't train that much. I mean, when I was in China, that's all I was doing is training. China and India.
Mhm.
That was my life, training. So that slowed. What it did, it slowed down my regression. If I
Okay.
didn't go to China, I would have been a lot worse a lot earlier.
Okay.
So I mean, yeah. So like the reason I went to China also was because my dad started getting delayed PTSD from all the torture he experienced
Right.
in prison and stuff. So I wanted to do something to improve my physical health so that I could look after him.
Okay. Okay.
Unfortunately, he passed away 3 months into my training in China. Um,
I'm sorry to hear
so
that.
thanks. Yeah. So it wasn't easy, but um, I mean, I kept the training because I mean that the whole purpose was to
Yeah,
improve your
you were
physical health,
motivated. Yeah, you were motivated
motivate.
and
Yeah,
more.
exactly. So I continued with that, and then only after that was I correctly diagnosed. So then I found out about surgery. I contacted multiple surgeons across in Germany, in the States. I spoke to neurologists and neurosurgeons in South Africa as well,
Mm.
and just to get different perspectives, different advice, what the surgery will do for me after I sent them MRI scans, X-rays, videos of my physicality and stuff.
Right.
And eventually it got to the point, I was like, okay, I'm getting so much worse. I have to do something drastic to improve my physical condition. And then I started up a fundraiser to raise funds for because initially I was supposed to go to the States to do the surgery, and with Germany being the second option. Then, unfortunately, sadly, the surgeon in the States passed away. And so I ended up going to Germany for the
Okay.
surgery. But for 4 years, I was raising funds because I needed funds not just for the surgery, but for the post surgery rehab. Because I need 1 to 2 years of rehab post surgery.
Okay.
And it's not cheap to get the kind of
Yeah, for
rehab
sure. I can understand.
because, as far as I know, I'm the first South African to have had the surgery, first South African adult to have had the surgery. So
Okay.
everything is new for everyone, even for the physios. What kind of physio I need to do, it's all new for them. So
So you like the test
basically,
tube baby.
basically, I'm the guinea pig for them to figure out how to navigate this. So
Mhm.
it's so that's why I started the fundraiser. I managed to raise enough for the surgery. Obviously, I still need to raise the rest for the rest of my rehab, but hopefully I can in time. And then I went to Germany, got the surgery, and unfortunately there were some complications, but the surgery did what it's supposed to do.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So
you've got a GoFundMe page as well, right?
yeah, yeah, I do. I've got a
Okay.
GoFundMe page,
Okay.
and
I will add that. I will add that to the description. So if
okay,
anybody
cool.
wants to
Thanks, I appreciate it.
contribute, anybody that'd like to contribute to Kamal's fund, a GoFundMe page, check out the link below, and I'm sure he'll be truly grateful for any contributions
Absolutely,
made.
I'd be super grateful. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. Any way we can help. So what was like the toughest part of that preparation?
So the hardest part was post surgery.
Okay.
Because before the surgery, my mind is always, oh, I'm going to go get the surgery and I'm going to improve and I'm going to get better and I'm going to work hard and I'm going to train like crazy and improve my physicality and then surgery happened and no one expected this kind of pain so I have severe nerve pain post surgery. And the place where I have the nerve pain, especially, it was not expected. Nobody's had this before, so it's never happened with any other patient. So
Oh,
especially the
okay.
time in
I see.
Germany, yeah, the time in Germany after the post surgery was the most difficult physically I've had in my entire life. I was in so much of pain. I was begging the nurses to kill me.
Mhm.
They put me on morphine as well, and morphine wasn't helping.
Jesus.
I was literally crying in bed, begging the nurses to kill me.
Jesus.
That's how much pain I was in. And then obviously I had to come back after the surgery. I had to come back alone because, um, after the surgery, the doctors said, okay, it is nerve pain, but over time it will heal. But normally when people have the surgery, they get put on nerve pain medication,
Mm.
and they couldn't put me on nerve pain medication because prior to the surgery, they found out that I have a heart issue.
Oh, so they couldn't complicate the medication because.
Yeah, so they know because what the medication does, it lowers your heart rate. So if I had to take the
Oh,
medication
okay.
while having this heart issue, I would have went into cardiac arrest.
Oof.
So I had to endure. So normally people get put on the medication immediately so that they don't experience the same kind of pain, and over time it heals.
Right.
Unfortunately, I couldn't be put on these medications, so I had to keep enduring the pain for the last 4.5 months.
Jesus. And how did that like coming back alone? How did you manage to fly
It
with
was
that pain?
it was the most difficult thing it was insane. I was on the plane. Even the stewardess were like, they're looking at me and they're like, is there anything we can do to help you?
Shame.
And I was like, unfortunately, no, there's nothing you can do. Because it wasn't just pain, most of my legs were still numb from the surgery.
Oh, so you couldn't even feel anything. down?
Yeah,
Like
I could because
you could
it
feel,
was
you
not
could
well.
feel.
Yeah, it wasn't it was only numb in certain parts, so you can feel the
Oh,
pain,
so
and there's
so
certain parts you can't move.
did you have like tingling feelings the whole way?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
tingling feelings, pain, aches, and you couldn't find a comfortable position to sit, to sleep. Nothing helped.
did you fly
I
economy? You flew economy.
no,
Oh,
no,
you flew
I flew business.
business. Okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was just
because I
gonna
had
say,
to.
yo, can you imagine if you in
Yeah,
if
no,
you're in
I would have
economy?
died.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
if I flew
That's
in
the
economy, I
thing.
would have died. Yeah, but even
Okay,
in
so
business, it
yeah,
was,
still.
business class supposed to be more comfortable. For me, it was not comfortable at all. I couldn't
Yeah.
sleep. I couldn't sit. I was walking up and down the aisles constantly.
Mm.
The stewardess, the stewardess, they were scared. They thought, they couldn't,
Help
because
you.
there's nothing they can do for me. There's
Mm.
nothing anyone can do for me. I had passengers coming up to me. Is there anything, if there's anything you need, please just,
Shit.
because they could see it on my face that I was in torture. I was in so much of agony.
Wow.
And then, flying from Germany to Dubai to South Africa, 8 hours, 8 or 16 hours on the
Mm.
plane,
Wow.
and that layover, 3 hours layover, it was crazy. It was insane.
Mm.
Yeah, so,
Looking,
but yeah, I mean, things like I had to go alone and come back alone as well.
yeah. So
So,
there was like you didn't even have somebody even to help you with your bags and stuff like that, or did you have
no, 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 no.
nobody?
I had to ask people to help me with
Oh, okay.
the airline. Yeah, so basically they come in, they pick you up with a wheelchair, and then they take your bags and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. I guess that's true hero stuff right there. It's the epitome of one way I say keep going and keep pushing.
Yeah,
That's what it means. Keep pushing. Because I
yeah,
can
yeah.
only
Well,
imagine what
hero
that
or
pain
crazy,
feels
I think
like.
is a fine line there.
We'll call it hazy. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll put the two
Yeah.
together. We'll call it hazy. Sure. Now I can imagine that because we get, anxious when it comes to that last leg of the journey. And you
Yeah.
felt it throughout your journey on the plane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, I can only imagine what that
Yeah,
felt
it
like.
was, yeah. I would not, well, I mean, I
Wish
guess
that.
it was, yeah, I guess also it was because I was just unlucky. This complication from the surgery was not supposed to happen.
Oh.
It's never happened before. I was just that one anomaly.
Yeah. I guess also given your age as well.
No, it's not so
No?
much the age. It's maybe the heart issue had something to do with
Oh,
it, but it was just it's mostly just luck because there were people I've spoken to people older than me that have had surgery, and they never experienced the same things I have.
mm. I guess that's why
So
it's so
yeah,
important nowadays to, keep up our cardiovascular strength, strength
yeah,
training.
yeah.
So that later on
Exercise,
in life, we're
yeah,
not stuck in that rut of just existing. We are able to still move and
yeah. Because I
mobility
mean, age catches up with everyone.
for sure.
There's no escaping it. And if you try to exercise as much as you can, it'll slow down. Like you won't. You're not going to be 60 years old and in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if you can exercise as much as you can, trust me, it's one of the most important things you can do.
Yeah. Yeah. Just keep mobility. Hence why
Yeah,
I just advocate now for myself. It's just to keep moving, keep consistently moving because I
100%.
know later on in life, I don't want to be, I touch wood. I don't know what the future holds for us or me or
Yeah.
whoever. However, if I do get to that stage, I want to be able to lift a spoon and just feed myself.
Yeah. The self-reliance, you don't want to, I think most of us don't want to be burdens on
Mm.
anyone else. We want to be able to do as much for ourselves for as long as we can.
Right. And in terms of, mental practice, how do you keep yourself grounded? Does any like yoga practices do you do in mindfulness? Any
Yeah, so
meditation?
to be honest, because I do meditation, but not, it was never in a sense of in terms of mentality. I think my mentality has been strong for a long, long, long time. So, I mean, when I was in India and China, I learned different types of meditation and stuff.
Right.
But in terms for my mentality, I don't think I ever did meditation or mindfulness in terms of that. So in school, my art teacher told me something, and she says that you're too idealistic.
What does that mean?
And that means, you're a dreamer, but maybe too much of a dreamer.
No, I mean,
Um,
like, why did she have to actually
I
say
don't
that
know.
to you?
Maybe she wanted to try to keep me grounded, or maybe my dreams were so
Or to
unrealistic.
fly
It's
higher,
like, yeah, yeah, yeah,
stay in
yeah,
between the level of
yeah. Yeah, but that's what keeps me. So that's my mindfulness. Whatever. I'm a dreamer.
yeah,
Like I said before, ride a bicycle, do this, drive a car, whatever it is, go live in a different country, whatever it is. I'm always thinking about goals, or I have so many. I've accomplished a lot in my life, and most of my dreams that I had growing up, I've also accomplished. But there's still more. There's
mhm,
more to dream about. There's more to work towards.
yeah,
Whether or not you achieve it or not doesn't really matter, but it's goals. And then that's what keeps me going. That's my mindfulness. That's my motivation. You know, it's
yeah.
not, it's not in terms of spirituality or anything like that. I mean, maybe it is spirituality, what I'm thinking. I don't know. But yeah, that's how I keep
No,
that's how
it's
my
it's
mind
ambition.
works.
It's good
Yeah,
ambition to have.
yeah,
How do you not have those if you? I mean, okay, let me rephrase. Why would you not have those ambitions? What's wrong with that?
no,
There's nothing
absolutely.
wrong with
Yeah.
that. It's
No, there's nothing
it's you
wrong with it. Yeah,
yourself
I mean,
telling yourself that I want to do X, Y, and Z, and
yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
Free will and thought is free. There's
yeah, it's. I think a lot of people talk about, oh, what's my purpose on this planet? I think our purpose is to dream and do as much as we can. Your life as best as you can. Help people on the way if you can. And yeah, live your life as it's because it's the only life we have.
yeah.
We
We have
have this
one.
one
Yeah,
life. Live it as
yeah.
best as you can. Do whatever you can. To the fullest.
One. Yeah. One. That's what I'm looking for. One conscious life that we know of.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Spiritual
absolutely.
lives, yes,
So
we know that we've had other past lives and spiritual lives, and
yeah,
but
yeah, in terms
conscious
of
life, this is the
reincarnation and
only
stuff,
one
but
that
you're
we.
conscious. Yeah, this is you as you are.
Yeah,
This is you as you are, and you live it as best as you can.
yeah.
You know,
No, I say
and
go for it.
go.
Whatever you want to achieve, dude.
Yeah,
Go
yeah,
for it,
try
and
your best.
yeah,
You'll never achieve everything in life. It's
exactly.
not possible.
Yeah,
But try to do whatever you can.
yeah,
It gives you purpose to move forward.
yeah, yeah. Not everything is gonna work out. You know what I'm saying?
No, of
It's not
course
like
not.
we're
Yeah, I
gonna
mean,
be.
life throws at you so many different challenges. It's not going to be.
Yeah,
It's
I
not.
mean, like
Okay, this is the path to go.
we've all gone
Yeah,
through the challenges of failure, but we picked ourselves up and
yeah. Our
coming
failure is a part
to
of life.
for sure.
Yeah,
And now, leaving South Africa, we always tell the story of resilience as South African.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, Leaving your comfort zone, your family,
It's not
uh,
easy.
family structures, dynamics, whatever it may be,
Yeah,
and you're now moving across to the other side of the world.
yeah,
And when you go through those challenges, you don't really see the foresight of how tough I am, or how strong you are. Only once you're on the other side do you then
yeah.
you go
You
back
realize.
and you analyze that passage
Yeah,
of where
uh, yeah.
I was
This
telling my
make me
wife.
strong.
Yeah, I was telling my wife the other day, just this weekend, I was like, that all the uncomfortableness, all the dirt, all the muck that you go through before you get to that pleasant side,
Yeah,
that's the good part in terms of or the reward that you get
yeah.
for
Because that
going
builds your
through it.
character.
Exactly.
Yeah, that builds your character. Going through life easy. I mean, you still learn things, but I don't think it doesn't build your character as much
Yeah.
as going through tough times and hard
Yeah.
times.
Look, I mean, nobody wants to go through those tough times. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong.
no, of course not. Yeah,
Exactly. And we're just saying, like, if you are presented or are in that particular moment,
yeah,
hustle through, because what's on the other side is like the golden pot, at the end of the
yeah,
rainbow that they
yeah,
always like say people are chasing. But it's
yeah.
enjoy the colors right
No,
now.
absolutely. Yeah, because I think there's a quote from Denzel Washington, the actor. and he said that ease is the greatest threat to progress than hardship.
Mhm.
You know,
Oh, that's
those
100%.
that those that go through hardship tend to accomplish so much more because they've struggled so much. Those that have it easy, maybe not uh, and in terms of not in terms of changing things, in the world. But I
Yeah.
mean, everyone goes through different challenges, so ease is relative.
Yeah. I mean, you have to also actually inspect it in hindsight of where you are in life.
Yeah,
But there's nothing stopping you from, like you said, you're a dreamer and
yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that. You want to achieve things in life and, I say go for it. Whether you achieve all of it, that's okay. If you don't,
yeah. I
you've
mean,
tried.
yeah, yeah. That's pretty much how I've lived my life. Always trying to, and I'm grateful. I've been able to achieve a lot of things that I've dreamt of when I was a child.
Uh-huh.
I mean, and so despite the challenges I have, I was still able to accomplish a lot through my life, which I'm happy about. I have no
Yeah.
regrets.
I mean, you've lived through so much right now. It's misdiagnosis, rediscovery, recovery. What message do you feel like, you could share with the world right now?
I'll share something that my Tai Chi teacher once said. It's just a single word. It's persist. Basically, that's it. Persist. Whatever you're going through, just keep at it. Keep at it. If you want to uh, make movies, persist. If you want to write a book, persist. If you want to have a family or whatever it is you want to
Uh-huh.
do, persist. It's. I think it's one of the. I mean, it's just one word, but it means so much. There's so
Lovely.
much
I
you
love
can.
that.
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest thing. I mean, I can talk about, dream, try to achieve your dreams and whatever. But yeah, I mean, you have to persist to achieve anything you want.
Amazing. I love that. Um, and in terms of, defining what do you think is simple things or simple changes we could make in society and humankind to understand when it comes to disability awareness?
Um, Mindset also. I think people's mindset need to change about disability. I think as a society, I mean, maybe certain countries do, but we don't. Disabled people don't want to be treated as
Hmm.
you disabled, you shouldn't be able to do
Yeah.
this.
You just want to be
But
treated equals
yeah,
as you would, as you would an able person.
but equality also is different for different people.
Mm.
So disabled people, especially those that are immobile, they can't do certain things. There has to be a society has to find a way to incorporate them into society, not treat them as outcasts of
Right.
society, you know, because they have things they can't contribute everything that someone else can, but they have things that they can contribute, and society has to involve them into it,
Uh-huh.
because a lot of times we either discard or treat them as different. This is a disabled person, he can't do anything, just leave him, or
Yeah.
but yeah, incorporate them into society. Let them experience things that others experience, things that they may not have before.
Yeah. We need to stop discrimination in
Yeah,
terms
100%.
of.
And yeah, and disability discrimination is high. It's not even. It's such an unconscious thing at the moment. People don't
Okay.
even realize they're doing it. You know,
Yeah.
it's they treat disabled people differently.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I mean, to an extent, I mean, you have to, obviously, you're not going to pull a guy from the wheelchair up and say, "Come run with me."
No, of course not. Of
It's
course not. No.
yeah,
Yeah.
but there's certain things he can contribute. He can be a part of. You know,
Mm. Yeah. The mind is still there. It's
yeah,
actually
yeah,
the most
yeah,
powerful muscle that he's actually got right at the moment, or he or she or
yeah.
he
So
he has at the moment.
yeah, so I mean, it's just the mentalities that need to change. I mean, that takes time. I mean,
Mm.
people's mindsets don't just change
No, overnight.
overnight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's why it's important to have these kind of discussions as well to bring light
yeah,
to certain aspects of our in environments and who we interact with on a daily basis.
yeah,
We also need to be kind to people who we think, you know, it's a dichotomy of where you are and your values and
Yeah.
beliefs. And if you
Yeah.
see, if you're a kind person, you be kind to the next person. And
Yeah,
also
yeah.
be,
I mean, kindness goes a long. It's such an underrated thing. Kindness, it goes such a long way. Simple acts of kindness can change people's moods. It can change a simple act of kindness can change a person's life entirely.
exactly.
So it's such an underrated quality to have.
Yeah. And, what does fully and truthfully living mean to you today?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's a difficult one because for a long time I didn't want to. I mean,
Mm,
that thought is always in the back of your mind. It's easier not to love anymore. I don't want to. It's too hard to. Things are too difficult. I'm in too much of pain. So living for me right now is basically a fight. It's a fight. I'm fighting to live. I'm doing whatever I can to live and live better, you know.
mhm.
So yeah, I think it's a difficult
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, but just know you're not alone. Like you've got myself, you've got a broader community who will always be there for you. Never give up
Thanks,
on
I appreciate
yourself.
that.
Never
Yeah,
give
no,
up
of
on
course, yeah.
yourself. Always keep going. And yeah, it's I know where you're coming from. I understand fully where you're coming from. I can put myself in your shoes. I have been in your shoes, and we just have to be there for each other.
Absolutely, 100%. You know, support is also so important. People
Hmm.
people thrive on support.
Hmm.
We are not solitary
Yeah,
animals.
entities. No,
Yeah, we are
we're
not.
social. We're social beings.
We are social beings. We thrive on support and community and help, and that's how we become stronger.
Yeah, no doubt. And in just reflection and closing out the podcast, if you could speak to your younger self right now, the little boy living in uncertainty, what would you
Yeah,
say to him?
nothing. Honestly, like there's things that you can say, oh no, no, do this, do that. I don't think I'd say. He went through life, and all the good and all the bad and all the loss made me who I am now. For better or worse, this is who I am.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think I'd say anything to him. I mean, if he had lottery numbers, maybe.
Okay. I think we all go back and say, hey, please, you know what, just
Yeah,
yeah, and that's
but in general, I don't. Yeah, in general, I don't think there's anything to say. Because
okay.
he'll go through his life, and he'll make bad decisions, and I've made plenty of bad decisions in
Right.
my life, and you learn and you grow from it.
Uh-huh.
So that's just part of life. Good, bad, everything. It all comes together.
No, amazing. Thank you, Kamal, for sharing your journey with us today. Truly
Yeah,
humble and
thanks for having
grateful.
me.
Pretty insightful as well. I've learned a lot. And yes, guys, please go and support Kamal's GoFundMe. Contribute to what you can. It will go a long way in helping him in his recovery. And I hope you enjoyed this podcast today. Leave your comments, likes, and please share this with anybody that you know. Would love to listen to this inspiring story, or even just you want to listen to it. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe, and we'll just help we'll help the channel grow. And until the next one, guys, stay zen. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.